you should definitely be sampling both sides of the news. If you're not looking at Fox News and CNN, you don't know what's happening.
So if you're trapped in your bubble and it's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, what's the first step to breaking out of your loserthink?
Well, it's good to know what all the various parts of loserthink are, and I go through them, like don't be a mind reader, don't predict the future with analogies, history doesn't predict, slippery slope isn't real,
Yeah.
fairness.
I want to go through a few of those.
So without details, so it's good to know what those are, but beyond that, you should definitely be sampling both sides of the news. If you're not looking at Fox News and CNN, you don't know what's happening. Because I've tried doing that. Try to pick a topic, and before you've heard what the other says, just consume one silo. And then you go over to the other one and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody was saying this. Are you telling me these facts are real? And it doesn't matter which way you're going. They're completely different.
But is it almost impossible to break out of that? I mean, we all talk about this all the time. We're catering news to ourselves. The algorithms are feeding us things that, reinforce our thoughts already.
Right.
But is it almost impossible to break out of it because in a weird way, psychologically, we don't want to break out of it? I know some people do, but that most of us we just... to not sound corny, that's the safe space we find, and we're good, and we're reinforced, and it's warm. And
this is why I sort of sneak in the back door. If I said to you, Dave, I'm going to get you to change teams, whatever your team is, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, you would immediately say, you'd be like, everything you're shooting at me is bouncing off my force field. But if I say, here's how you should think in any situation you want to have something to compare something to, a very simple statement. People will accept that because that's just reasonable on its surface. And then you take that through, all right, now apply this to your thinking. So you can sometimes get people to talk themselves out of their position by giving them better tools, but you can't just say change teams because you're on the wrong team.
how much of this do you think is just base human psychology, just sort of the stuff we're born with, that certain people are just sort of more programmed to go to just things that reinforce their beliefs, and some people are just programmed to actually being a little bit more open?
Well, I think all of these things have you're born with a certain set of gifts and intelligence, et cetera. But in Loserthink, I talk about how the experience you've had across domains is what gives you better vision. So for example, if you'd never been exposed to economics, I've got a degree in economics, you wouldn't know how economists think. So you might run into a concept like a sunk cost. And if you'd never been exposed to this, you might say, well, I have common sense. And people would say, we've already spent all this money, so we better keep investing because I don't want to waste that money I already spent. Mm-hmm. That's not sensible. And economists would say, no, the money that's gone should not influence your next decision because it's gone. Mm-hmm. Now, the first time you hear that, you say, oh, yeah. Like you don't need to read a book on it. You just hear it. And so I tried to make it as simple as that. You just got to hear it once and you say, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you think we all have sort of pre-programmed abilities to be flexible on some of these things, but you think that can pretty much always be
different
broken
levels.
Through at different levels?
Yeah. I mean, people are more or less locked in, more or less team players, more or less capable of looking at details and thinking properly. But everybody can do it better.
Yeah. Do you think the internet's changing that, just relative to the speed that we get information and the fact that you can now go out there and find roughly a gajillion voices in 2 minutes that might be able to help break some of your stuff?
I'll tell you the biggest problem, I think, and this is a brand new thought, is that we are, as humans, we're copiers, we're imitators. So if you wade into the internet, what kind of thinking style are you going to see? The worst. And people will imitate it. So they'll say, for example, hey, your side did X. And what's the most common response? Your side did X.
Yeah.
What did that help? That helped nothing. That wasn't even on the topic. You didn't even talk about your topic.
But if they're going to do it, we have to do it.
Right. So some of it is, of course, power and influence and persuasion and all that. Nobody's trying to think. So you have to be able to weed out, okay, was anybody even trying, or were they just persuading?
Yeah. Do you think most of us just don't want to try, though, at some level? I mean, most people just they don't want to think about things that seriously because that brings up a lot of deep existential stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe there's lots of reasons. We don't want to be wrong. We don't like to be embarrassed. We don't like to change our mind. We don't want to disappoint the team. And we're influenced by what we see. So we just join in and say, well, that's what my team's doing. I guess I'll do some of that.
So you talk about some of the dumb ideas that are floating around, so that thus create our own bubbles. So I wanted to go through a couple of them, because we hear these all the time, and they sort of sound right, but you don't quite think they are right. We know when history will repeat itself and when it won't. We hear this all the time.
History repeats.
Yes,
Yeah.
history repeats itself.
And because it has a phrase, and we've heard the phrase, we give it weight. Because the brain will say, well, it's a saying. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on a bumper sticker, so there must be something about that. But it's an illusion caused by the fact that we don't notice when history doesn't repeat, which is most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that history doesn't repeat? Because it can't. There's never two situations that are the same. The variables should change. And if nothing else has changed, you saw what went wrong the last time. So you fix it this time. So it's a complete illusion that we can predict the future because this time is like that last time. The most you can do is say people are still selfish, stupid, and all those things. So if you put them in a situation where they can steal, well, sure, they'll steal. Mm-hmm. Not everybody, but if you have enough people introduced to a situation where you can steal something, somebody's going to take a run at it. But that's not really history repeating.
Right, so you would say a better way to say it would be something like themes repeat themselves, just because it's based in our nature, not the specific event?
I would even make it smaller than that. I would say people are people. So they're going to be selfish and all the qualities of people. So any situation you put them in, you should say, well, let's look at cause and effect. If I put that person where the free money is, I should expect money to be taken, but not because history repeats. It's just a simple cause and effect.
So if it doesn't repeat itself, what would you say to all the history majors right now that are listening to this?
Well, historians...
What would be the point of being a historian, if not to have some sort of roadmap for the future, right?
Well, indeed, history is what prevents it from repeating in some sense, because you know what didn't work. So you might see history repeat when it works. So if something worked before, you might see somebody try it again. But even you take anything like North Korea. All right, what was the main thing people said when President Trump got elected was, well, talking to North Korea will never work, blah, blah. And maybe it won't, but he got it further than anybody else. He got it into a personal level. It wasn't anything like history. So no matter how many times history had repeated, you introduce this whole new variable of President Trump, and then history doesn't count anymore.
What do you make of that concept, that people who said one thing 2 years ago say the complete opposite? And I don't mean that they've flipped all of their beliefs, but that it's always a team thing. It's like if Obama had gone to North Korea and talked to Kim Jong-un, a certain set of people, the Republicans in this case, would have been like, he's crazy, we can't talk to these people. Yeah. Trump does it, we can do it. You can flip that the other way. Sure. I mean, that I guess that goes to what you're saying about the team thing, but do you think people realize the sort of absurdity? I'm not talking about evolving over a period of time with a certain set of opinions. I'm talking that because the players are different, that you just completely take an opposite side.
Yeah, one of the great mysteries is you watch somebody who doesn't agree with you and they're doing that crazy thinking like you're mentioning, and you watch them and you think to yourself, is that real? Do they really think that?
Yeah.
And I spend time doing that too, but one of the advantages I have is having studied hypnosis. I understand people to be irrational most of the time, and I understand them to be rationalizers. And I understand confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance. So my take is that most of the time they actually believe what they're saying, and because they can't see it. They're the ones who are blinded to it, so it looks like it makes sense to them.
Do you think there's some reason, like an obvious sort of psychological reason, that the people who seem most obsessed by politics on a day-to-day basis, and I'm not talking about like sort of the broad theme stuff, but as you said before, you're really sort of uninterested in politics, but the people that are obsessed with, the nitty-gritty, excuse me, the nitty-gritty, what happened today, what happened tomorrow or what's happening tomorrow, there's a reason that they're so miserable, because it's sort of it's like an untenable system that they're playing with all the time.
Well, people are different, so it's probably all different reasons. I do it for entertainment, and I think other people are drawn in from the fight. They like the fight. So what's my fight today? Ooh, there's a new headline. Let me get into that fight. There's definitely a, dopamine or serotonin hit that people get just from making a good point. It's like, got that guy. Yeah. Said something bad about this celebrity. Got him.
Got him. Somehow I think if this was a real fight, like involving weapons, they would be much more reserved. What do you think?
I know I would.
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.